man, it's a shit pile of junk. I can hear so many of them. Make them stop.
Skirmish at the boundary, casualties among the brothers. The wounded will be delivered in time.
Copy that. I will make sure they get the opportunity to avenge their injuries.
Forgetting it. Maybe I never even knew it.
Monolith, help our brethren in their recovery. Your enemies are many, and every brother is invaluable.
Something's wrong. just a night. It's just a nightmare. We have no other life beyond our devotion to end. The monolith is testing your faith. Do not avert your gaze from its radiance. So cold. Why am I always so cold?
Under the dome and head to the basement. Waiting for you there.
How long did you know each other?
Not long. I met him on Wild Island, back when he was still human.
He was someone who had everything taken away from him. His past, his ability to fight back, even his name. We go to great lengths to cover up our mistakes.
What do you mean, Doctor?
After years of work, a group of scientists managed to tap into the noosphere, the Earth's informational field, an achievement comparable at best to the conquest of space. It was a turning point not just for science, but for the fates of the human race. However, as with all people, each of my colleagues was truly interested in only one person: himself. They began to dream of worldwide fame, of laurels crowning their bald, shiny heads. Naturally, the truth couldn't come out about secret laboratories, brutal experiments, and other such dubious undertakings. It was out of the question. And so, they all got carried away with their dream of a perfect world. You know how the saying goes, great minds think alike, though fools seldom differ. And lo and behold, what do we have decades later? The zone, in our image, after our likeness.
You were there, right? For the Sea Consciousness Project?
I was once as deluded as they were, but my doubts soon outweighed their confidence. And so when the experiment took place, one of the pods was left empty. The eighth one, or rather, the first, Dr. Kaimanov's pod. My pod.
And so you've solved yet another mystery of the zone, Stalker. Perhaps the most unsettling one. Dr. Kaimanov. Pleased to meet you.
Thanks for your help. Whatever happened to life is the only thing we truly possess.
Frankly, choosing between the two of you wasn't easy. Wasn't my first time, but it only gets harder over the years. But if you don't make the choice, someone else will make it for you. And it usually ends up being worse. I'm not fond of thinking for others, or giving advice. But I get the feeling Strider would approve of the choice I made, however strange it might sound.
There was an eighth pod.
The human brain is too frail to handle a direct connection to the noosphere on its own. In order for it to work, we required 8 participants in pods filled with a specific solution. I was supposed to be in one of those pods, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Valentine reproached me for my lack of courage. But given how things turned out, I was actually too daring. In the end, what we got wasn't control over the noosphere, but rather the zone itself. The lesser of two evils, if you ask me.
The scientists you mentioned, Sea Consciousness, they're still alive.
No, that can't be. Strelok dealt with them back in 2012.
I spoke to the representative through the visiograph in Malachite. They still exist in some kind of form he called subtle matter.
Subtle matter? But that's impossible! That means it's still going on.
Why did you refuse to get in the pod?
Because I've always held on to my belief in humanity. My colleagues, on the other hand, advocated for fixing it through the noosphere, purging it of darkness. How could I consent to such a notion? How could I permit them to rob all of humanity, not just of its ability to act freely, but even to think independently? Everything dark and light about us is a result of our own choices. The zone was born in a place of tragedy and horrific experiments, but I believe in a different zone. A zone open to everyone.
So, you were the one who created the zone?
Me? No, certainly not. The zone created itself. I merely facilitated its emergence. Although my colleagues and I had different expectations for the outcome of our experiment. You see these blind dogs? I've been trying to tame them for years, but they were born in a lab where they've known nothing but pain and fear. But Tiger here found me on his own. He just came out of the woods one day and tried to steal a sausage. He was born free and had the freedom to make his own choices, you see. The zone is our collective offspring, but all we've imparted to it is suffering and sorrow. It doesn't know any other way. Maybe we're the same.
A zone open to everyone? That sounds kind of dangerous.
That's because it's the only way you see it. Frightened and caged, born amid evil and violence. What else could the zone have evolved into? In a place where both humans and nature are nothing more than test subjects. If it had been born into freedom, like Tiger, it might have evolved differently, into a zone of creation, rather than destruction. And then, we might have become different too. We always had the ability to overcome the circumstances. Access to the noosphere would have made us better, even if it meant a rough start. Understanding and forgiving each other is a difficult endeavor.
What do you know about subtle matter?
It was a theory developed by Valentine Darlin, the leader of sea consciousness. Apparently, he's now become the image of the representative. Back in the day, he ridiculed my calculations regarding the existence of the noosphere, while I firmly believed that subtle matter was unscientific. In the end, I turned out to be right. But if he was also close to the truth, that changes everything. According to his theory, subtle matter can preserve a reflection of a person's mind, their personality. If you're implying the representative is real, that means they actually succeeded.
Before me, S.T.A.L.K.E.R was the only one who'd spoken to the representative. That was back in 2012, before sea consciousness died. S.T.A.L.K.E.R managed to reach the center of the zone and return unscathed.
Then S.T.A.L.K.E.R probably knows more about subtle matter than I do, along with the sea technologies that sea consciousness has mastered during their 6 years of frenetic activity. Chances are, he's still researching it to this day.
That's why I'm looking for S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Word is he's back in the zone.
I haven't seen him in quite some time. Maybe that's for the best. Our perspectives on the zone have probably developed quite differently over the years. If your information is correct, I doubt he's ventured too far from the cordon. Men like him tend to develop a deep attachment to a place they regard as their own and refuse to let go.
I want to find out if subtle matter is real. Things like this shouldn't be left to blind faith.
The scientific method isn't just about the experiment. It's about being able to replicate it. And I happen to know how to test a few of my hunches. If only Valentine could see me now. Well, perhaps he can. We tried to connect to the noosphere as an experiment in the Orbiter underground lab. Back then, I saw nothing like the afterlife. But now, with the zone, I think the truth is worth taking a risk. But first, you need to get the cartridge from the signature station in a different lab, X3, near the cordon. It's been 20 years, so the entrances I knew of are long destroyed, but stalkers always find a way. Talk to Sidorovich, he's in charge of the cordon, and could have heard some stories about X3. I'll send you the code to the cartridge slot. Take it and head to Orbiter. Good luck. Good day, Stalker. People who I find and treat often condemn their destiny and the zone. But action always causes a proportionate reaction. What if stalkers themselves are to blame for the zone's cruelty? Take care.
Tell me, did you kill them there? At the hospital?
No.
Thank you. I understand it wasn't easy, but thank you. It's important to remember that not all of us are like these caged dogs. We can make our own choices.
Why get scared though? Fate is fate. Whatever needs to happen, will happen.
I'm so craving some baked apples.
Everything in the zone has always been...
Got issues with your... Let's see.